Don't put nothing in it unless you feel it. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I can't shake this need. It's the need that I need, what I need to have you here with me. And even though you don't need me, I still feed it like green. It's blue, then it's green, and it's never just easy. And whenever you're away, I still feel this constant pulling at my heartstrings. You're there, waiting for me. If it's a dream, will someone wake me up before this demon comes to take me? I can't do it alone. Then the tally rings, it's you on the phone. What is it that you're doing to me? What is it that you're doing to me? You are a drug I desperately need. Gotta kick this habit quickly. What is it that you're doing to me? I don't know what you're doing to me. You are the drug I desperately need. And thanks to you, I have become a fiend. Roxy, Roxy, baby. See, I can move to hip hop, I can march to grunge rock. And when I hear an electro pop, I can't stop an R&B child in the city. And if you don't like me, tough titty. But when it comes to you, what's out the window? All I hear is your heartbeats, and I slow down to a pace that fits the tempo. Higher, free me, floating into the deep. Nothing holding me but your hands clutching. But it's a dream, can someone wake me up before this damn thing overtakes me? I can't do it alone. Then the tally rings, it's you on the floor. What is it that you're doing to me? What is it that you're doing to me? You are a drug I desperately need. Gotta kick this habit quickly. What is it that you're doing to me? I don't know what you're doing to me. You are the drug I desperately need. And thanks to you, I have become a fiend. Roxy, Roxy, baby.
Yeah, all I see is danger, danger. I'm lost in space with a stranger. I've lost my faith, now I'm chasing apparitions, throwing caution to the wind, without the slightest thought of the condition that I'm in. Yes, it's true, sometimes everyone plays a fool. Not even Newton could explain her gravitational pull. Tried hard not to wake up from this dream, but it's hopeless. Now she's got me crawling up the walls like I'm dope. The first hit's for free, it ain't a mystery, cause once you get a taste of this, yo sisters mean it wasn't shit to me, cause I was Mr. Clean. But now our bodies intertwine and I hold her like a sixth string, breathing in her smoke and my heart starts to choke. But I need to get away because you know there ain't no hope. To muster up the strength I must be left alone to find a new pretty dime, Miss Methadone. Hey!
What is it that you're doing to me? What is it that you're doing to me? You are a drug I desperately need. Gotta kick this habit quickly. What is it that you're doing to me? I don't know what you're doing to me. You are the drug I desperately need. And thanks to you, I have become a fiend. What is it that you're doing to me? What is it that you're doing to me?
here we go. All right. I want to make an addendum to the 3-hour epic explanation of the Joycean charts. I forgot to point out an important aspect in episode 7, the Aeolus episode, the one that takes place in the newspaper office. The meaning in the Lunati scheme, Lunati chart, the meaning for that was the derision of victory. And also in the symbols you had machines. Well, the main metaphor was editor. But the other symbol for the other symbols for the Aeolus episode was machines, wind, fame, kite, failed destinies, the press, and mutability. And the meaning that goes with that, episode 7, is the derision of victory. The 24/7 telegraph newspaper environment satirizes all forms of achievement because of the turnover of the content every day in the telegraph press. Nothing has any constancy, endless change. So Joyce understood very early the hidden ground of the effect of the telegraph press in undermining any kind of victory in any institution. So when he says the derision of victory as the theme in episode 7, that's pretty knowing about the effect of the newspaper, no matter what kind of achievement or destiny is fulfilled. It becomes a failed destiny because of the continuous undermining of the information environment by the electric extension of tactility, first expressed in the telegraph press. So I forgot to point out that's a really important aspect of the newspaper world, that to the degree Joyce is talking about media, that theme is illustrated there in episode 7. So I wanted to mention that. And then that brings in the fact that the turnover of media environments as a satire, a Menippean satire of the citizens, is a means for epiphany and awareness of the undermining, of the inconstancy of the world that your eyes see. Your lying eyes try to create a constancy, a solidity of environment, and the electric tactility is undermining that constantly, so that the telegraph press take over the job of art and of science to create anti-environments. The press itself is a major anti-environment for all the previous media, and if one is unaware of that, then you're a dupe. You're hypnotized by that. You don't see that the art form, the role of art, has moved into the newspaper environment. So I just wanted to add that. And now we had some topics that you wanted to cover. Can you think of any?
Well, yes, I think one of the main things that you are adding.
You have to do. What am I doing with this song? That's not. I don't even need. That would be working. Okay.
Yes.
Bring you up. Okay, I missed what you said. Okay, I can hear you now.
I think one of the main things you're adding, because you go beyond understanding all medias, you go to aspects that were never talked about, like the chemistries. And then since the fall, when Eve could see the tree of life, and she was like hypnotized by this new experience of seeing, of perception, and she thought it was a higher ascended state to experience perception and to know, to learn, to have this illusion of extension.
Yes.
And during all this time, we were hypnotized by the different types of medias. and you explain that we enjoyed this Odyssey,
Yes.
but we were hypnotized by it, and we're in a point where, as you say, we are seeing that there is a matrix, there is an hologram, that the solidity we thought there is doesn't really exist, because when we see the particles, there is more empty space than solid matter. So we're trying to understand what we thought we knew, and we're erasing actually everything what we knew. So everything is changing, and the physics we knew is also changing, because the elements are changing, and we're in a moment where we don't really know anything anymore. And
Nothing has any constancy. Nothing has any constancy of the eternal truth.
at the same time, we're hypnotized by our extensions, and there is these fears of something programming us and using these medias to control us, and the only way to go beyond this hypnosis is to heal it, is to go to the organic, to the I cell, to
Yes.
go, and that's the thing I think you are apporting, that you solve media. You don't only understand really the whole extensions, and like Ion said, you created the non-physical, and you created the non-physical when we fell, so that we could go back to the ascended state. So you were the only one who could then engage him again and bring it back. And
This is the role of Rai that you mentioned. Rai created the first separateness. Separateness would be extending your power outside of yourself, and therefore subject to the hypnosis of the outer kingdom and their extensions. I say that Rai returned to the plane of essence in 1967, and all that was left was the cobwebs of Rai. That would be the strings of the android meme from 67 to 1997, 2007. So when I present myself as Rai during this android meme period, I'm replaying the role of high priest that creates the authority and expertise on the non-physical that the high priest created as a solution for little man's dilemma. To engage and create Ion is to create a final Rai action, but all the while, thanks to Ion's integrity, we are undermining the hypnotism that Rai brought in, and that's a hypnotic process in itself. So you need to have this debate, dialogue, nitpicking between me, Carolyn, and Ion to help erase the hypnotism that's naturally produced by the replay of Rai that Ion has brought forth. So I playfully call myself Rai only as a holopathic replay of that action to mirror what Ion does, with Carolyn thrown into the middle of it. So the triangulation between Ion, Carolyn, and I is a self-aware Rai process. That's as much as you could communicate in the world of communication. I was thinking tonight, reading an article on Donald Trump, that George Bush Jr., the president from 2001, 2009, early 2009, he represented a post-information image. He did not take the information environment, the media environment seriously, but it was imposed on people and by the Supreme Court. that would be Bush as the appropriate image for Web 1.0. But what we're seeing today in Web 2.0, continuing the post-information situation that George Bush represented in Web 1.0, you would have a different kind of post-information icon that would be in the style of the commentary in Web 2.0, where people, bitch and yell and scream and satirize and mock and all that kind of stuff that you see in any article, any story on the web. You will see people, hundreds of comments and hundreds of battling and bickering. I think that's the image, the updating of the George Bush Jr. image by Donald Trump, is that he represents the dynamic of what people have been living for the last 3, 4, 5 years in Web 2.0 autonomy. And so the presidential image has to imitate the mocking of any institution, including the institution of a national election for president of the United States. You see the charisma of Donald Trump is because he's expressing the president. So in a way, you have this temporary Rai action by Donald Trump. And it's a Rai action that is this fully self-aware mocking of its situation as well as everybody else. And it's undermining all the older replays of Rai, the White House, the science, the priesthood, the religious priesthood, the newspaper commentary, chattering class priesthood, all the priesthoods of the Android meme environment when it was disseminating information as if there was consequence to the information, but people now know there's no consequence to the information. So you have this incredible attack by the people, by the five-bodied citizens on the media environments that they're creating, and it's channeled through Donald Trump. So Donald Trump is president right now. His image is the dominator of the polls, and that's what the president is. It's the one who's dominating in the polls, the one who's supposedly got the approval of the discarnate electorate and the discarnate general population. So I'm saying, if you want to understand the concept of Rai, we can look right today at what Donald Trump is doing. It's like the worst cynical bum has taken over the microphone of the post-Android meme, and he's just mocking everybody like traditional Menippean satire. This is what Trump is doing, and of course he's mirroring what the audience has already been doing in Web 2.0. So the audience loves the image of itself that Trump is mirroring. So it's an example of the latest sophisticated edges of hypnosis that's happening. That Trump successfully hypnotizes the audience by playing itself and the audience's habits back to itself, and it leaves the traditional practical politicians totally obsolete. So they're all dropping off like flies. Even Hillary Clinton can't get any traction. Now, this may not relate to the actual events on the election day. That's a sorry state. When if you become elected as president, you're then a victim from that point on. You're a sad sack, a Yogi Berra of calumny and victimization. Who wants that position? Nobody. So if Donald Trump's lucky, he won't get elected. He'll just present this great art form to remind us of the silliness of the election and presidential function. So the media since 1967 has always undermined the Rai tradition of some kind of authority hypnotizing into awe, A-W-E. And that is implied in the Aeolus episode, the derision of victory. The electric media 100 years ago started making fun of the Rai principle. That's why it's not a stretch to have, by 60 years later, in 1967, the Rai returned to the plane of essence. Rai capitulates. And then Isis follows Rai back to the plane of essence. This is what came through cosmic awareness. And McLuhan explained subsequently. So I call myself Rai on the dupes form, dupes of non-physical. That is the sophisticated way and meaning that I'm demonstrating, as I've just explained. This is an important part of the understanding of the world of order and social DNA that's holding the blood of the global membrane together. It's interesting, Bernie Sanders, he represents the same satire by presenting a historically absurd resume. He's been a socialist, communist representative of Vermont or someplace for decades, an irrelevant politician. Both he and Trump are showing the obsolescence of the election. I said that there'd be no election in 2000. Election had to be canceled, and it was canceled. And the Supreme Court came in by executive fiat and announced Bush as president because he had the appropriate image, post-information image. And then, of course, Obama showed that there was no election. He came from nowhere, and the Daughters of the Revolution imposed him on the American population, so he became a suitable image of unpredictability and mystery man. So he was not an elected figure. And then you have the present election, where the process of the satire of the function of election is happening right within the primaries, not by an image like George Bush Jr. or an image of redundancy that Obama brought in, because Obama did the opposite of Bush. He was a charismatic image that came in that would put meaning into the White House and failed to accomplish that because there could not be a position to be elected for. But what's happening is we're not even bothering waiting for an election. The excitement is in the satire of the whole process, that the third image of Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders, both flip sides of the same coin. Bernie Sanders showing sort of like Donald Trump is like George Bush Jr. and Bernie Sanders is the sincere politician of the type of Obama's image. So the Republican is a jeering cynic, and the Democrat is a sincere neighborhood builder. And so here's Bernie Sanders coming in with a totally ridiculous image, and he is getting charisma because he is very close to the meaning of the obsolescence of the whole democratic action of a potential election. So the descent into nothingness is the meaning in the Hades episode, episode 6, just before the Aeolus episode in Ulysses. So he went from the descent into nothingness to episode 7, the derision of victory. Yes. So I did want to say that as an addendum to our epic two explanations.
I was thinking the word for actor in Greek was hypocrite. How do you say it? Hypocrite?
Hypocrite, yes. The mask of the hypocrite.
Yeah, and I think in a way politicians are playing that role of the ritual, the mythic.
Well, let's just say anybody who's a major figure in the media, Hollywood actor, an athlete, a glamour boy in the internet industries, or the World Wide Web industries, any of these figures are mask-like satires on people. What politics is the sacred stabilization of that process, the celebration of the integrity of the mask. Because 24/7 we're engaging masks of all kinds of phenomena, every minute. The ritualization of that, adoption of a mask, the hypocrite lecture, the hypocrite persona, hypocritical persona, the almost turning sacred, making sacred of that daily ritual of abuse value, is what the election is about. It's supposed to be a serious propping up of a mask, a serious acceptance of the Rumpelstiltskin drama. So you see what I'm saying is the mask quality is happening in all the media environments, and the political process is to try to put a serious tonality to the mask-making hypocrisy.
Yes.
So that's hypocrisy squared, to pretend that your hypocrisy is serious.
This is what you have been talking about this quadrophrenic masquerade. And you said something also very interesting, that the alphabet created tragedy, and somehow the Android meme amplified this tragic somehow.
Oh, the tragedy. I missed the word. You're talking about the tragic?
Yeah.
Yes, the tragic comes in with literacy in the phonetic alphabet. In the Greek culture, they didn't have tragedy before that. It was a culture of shamanistic co-creation of the forces of nature. The tribe helped make the universe every day. There was no perspective or detachment about the process. But once you start to get the detachment of the written replay, having the first look at this rabbit hole of pre-literate, pre-tribal, and tribal involvement, it made the process seem fatal. You know, Baudrillard's fatal strategies, so that the shortening of life by the written technology, the turning of life into a separation from the non-physical, that would be a tragedy for the human soul and human personality, human essence. So visual space brings in tragedy. It's then amplified, retrieved with the printing press, and then you get into the electric age, which of course is post-print and press effect. So the tragic element melts away into dark humor, or the Menippean. The media Menippeizes all the various forms of audience. So you don't have tragedy in the 20th century, at least as the 20th century unfolds. The tragic becomes less and less sacred, and you end up with a population celebrating its own demise, its own destruction, and celebrating more violent imagery and rituals, more violent rituals and imagery. A huge indifference to the fate of everybody except yourself. That is an important point, is that the tragic is not holding a sway anymore. And that has really upset the legacy of literate humans. Literate humans are quite outraged. And so that would be the rise of Christian fundamentalism, is the retrieval of the tragic image of the cross, the tragic murder of the Son of God, the tragic element of Christianity, which probably wasn't as tragic in the medieval period and the Kubrick galaxy. Might have been a part of the hidden ground, but it doesn't become a figure until you get into the 20th century, when the tragic image is obsolete. So Christianity gets a revival as the sentiment of tragedy, and of course pointing to the tragic elimination of humanity in the end times. So the tragic is obsolete and spreads everywhere because it's obsolete, while the hidden ground is joyous ecstasy, the Dobbs quadrant, which wouldn't know what a tragedy was if it bit Bob on the ass. He would not know what was tragedy. So Bob remains impervious to this obsolete content. Bob remains the hidden ground of eternal,
Yes.
eternal drug dealing, let's call it.
The eternal food maker.
Eternal what? Eternal what?
The food,
food
restoration.
Yeah, full stomach, full naked lunch.
Yes, I was remembering a program you talk about these politicians. They're making like these comedies about like a woman president,
Yes.
and I was watching
Veep. That's
some.
Veep. That's Julia Dreyfus. What's her name? Julia Dreyfus or something. She was from Seinfeld. She plays the vice president. Veep. V-E-E-P. And then she becomes president. And it is incredible satire. It's almost a prediction of what's happened so far into the Hillary Clinton campaign. Her handlers make absurd statements. They do focus groups to tell them, yes, Hillary should become more genuine, more forthcoming. So they go to focus groups to make Hillary become genuine. This kind of satire is often done in the Veep TV show.
Yes,
Is that what you're thinking of?
Yes, I saw an ad for that program on the street.
Yes.
And it was saying, laugh is the best way to express disgust.
Laugh?
Yeah, like laughter, like these politicians laugh all the time, but they're actually like...
Cynically looking down on you.
Yes, and that people are entertained with these crude truths.
Yeah.
It's like these roles are obsolete. I mean, if we think about somebody like Jefferson that was ascended and all the ideals he was trying to bring into this new nation, this utopic new Atlantis.
Yeah, he could do that under pretty conditions. Now, what you have is the audience laughs at the politician or the media hero who's cynically laughing back at the audience. This tactile interplay is well expressed in Finnegans Wake, where you can't tell who's the audience and who's the hero. The roles are interadjustable. It's not something two-eyed people can notice and make definite images out of. It's a one-eyed situation based on more of a feeling response to the chaos. So the way you describe that image that you saw on the streets is what I'm trying to express here. The lack of any stable personality or any stable position of yourself. You can't be just audience anymore. You can't just be actor anymore. You are co-conspirator in the process of para-information. That's post-information and information. Put them together, you get para-information.
Yes, and I think that's the interesting thing about the Ulysses, how Joyce makes the life of a man one day, and everything is echoing. The whole Odyssey, all these myths, all these symbols, many things he may not be aware of are resonating in his life. All these archetypes and all these effects, like he's talking about organs and colors, and I mean the fact that he had to make this schemata to explain to his friends what was that about.
What the book was about.
It seems a very simple story. It's like
Well, it's simple because it's also pointing out the phrase he says in Finnegans Wake, Gray at 3. Ulysses, in 24 hours, covers the whole history of humanity, because humanity was, on the chemical body level, living, 100 years every 12 months. So the huge expanse that goes on in a multimedia society like Dublin in 1904 is helps explain why so much could be simultaneously presented in the spherical book known as Ulysses.
Yes, and I think that's what I have gained from listening to you. This recollected lucidity of the whole history of humanity resonating in your life, and for example, when Ion makes you play some pop song or some cartoon or things that seems so banal,
Banal. Yes.
banal, yeah, it's like he's telling us in all human creation there is this divine, and everything is somehow important or part of this creation of.
I think what you're trying to say is the phrase McLuhan uses as the title of a book, from cliché to archetype. Dublin takes any cliché, any action, and makes it archetypal, which is McLuhan's definition of how consciousness happens. Consciousness is the cliché action of the senses, but then if you interact with another environment, then the cliché becomes heightened and becomes stabilized as an archetype. So the process of going from cliché awareness to archetypal epiphany awareness is a normal product of electric conditions.
Yes, and for example, you and your charts or this schemata by Joyce, for me it's like a reminder of that our life seems to be, maybe as a fallen man, a little man, not important, but we could all become gods. We are already, but we forgot.
Yeah, and Ion hopes Ion's agenda is to help you recognize your creative powers as a sovereign creator, god, goddess, and then it's not that significant. Ion, in the long run, is trying to take away the significance of your super state. It should not be considered unusual for you to raise the dead anytime you want to.
Right, and for example, in the Genesis, when he says earth was created, and he says, where did this earth came from? And I was thinking about, for example, America, like everything we think we know, we don't really know how these things really came to be. Like, did the earth appear from the bottomless pit? And today I was watching a picture of the earth without water. It looks like chewing gum, like it's not even a circle, it's just like a thing.
a wad of crumpled up matter.
Yes, and I think we are at this point where we have all these amazing complex creations like the Ulysses, which is our civilization, and we can understand, like with what you're explaining and the information you're putting out, what is all this creation and what happened and where are we going now. And this is the thing, like we understand our place really in this creation.
And we understand how we don't require to know our place.
Well, but I think we require, as part of this process of recollection, and then I don't know what's happening now, because I felt since this reset, like my computer broke down and the radio station broke down, and I felt this was going to be like a big reset, and this is. There is also these things that these cycles have been described in the Bible with the moons, And now there is this supermoon eclipse coming on the 28th, and this is supposed to be like a big reset.
Yes, big reset, R-E-S-E-T is what Roxy is saying.
Yes. Yes, so we are now on at
let's remember what I am said. Get your house in order by, that means get your economy in order by September 28th. People only have 3 or 4 days left. Monday.
Yes. Do you have anything to say about this? This new.
I don't engage in these resets. They're not important to my situation.
Well, but I think there is also a change in IANDom.
Yes, that's true. Yes, but I don't let it get me down.
No, it's all part of the process. It's just part of the big reset.
Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you. As I would say.
We're completely happily. No, I complete.
That's right, we haven't said that in years. We're totally, happily
incomplete. No, but
happily.
Would you like to add anything else to the charts of Ulysses?
No, I hope I was able to say something a little newer in the last half hour, whatever the length of this broadcast is we just done. I hope that I was able to fine-tune what I've said before, and that your responses have helped me feel that I completed my statement about the role of Rai.
Yes, there is so much in the charts that I know you could expand on. Well,
we will. Yeah, we will.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Well, thank you.
In other words,
me.